Hello, you're welcome to ARCN Television. Irish potato is a global important crop producing high yields of nutritional value foods such as antioxidants which contain vitamin C which repairs wear and tear body cells. It also helps to clear both external and internal inflammation among other vitamins and minerals. I am Hilda Homsel Fontom. Honorable Hosea Estefanus Falangwe, the Commissioner for Agriculture and Rural Development, applauded the government of the day, saying,
Agriculture has been considered as a sideline occupation or subsistence farming, where the smallholders are actually involved in the farming activities. However, with the coming of the governor, we have to actually x-ray the potential of agriculture on the Plateau State, and for us, we believe that agriculture, there must be a paradigm shift. One, that agriculture must be accepted as a business or enterprise. And secondly, we must adopt the good agricultural practices if actually we must forge ahead. So the governor of the day, His Excellency President Simon Bakola Along, had to develop a roadmap, and we're able to develop what we call state development strategies. And agriculture has featured prominently in the policy thrust of his administration. And the governor has looked at solid mineral development. We have the agriculture and the tourism as key areas of low-hanging fruits that the government can develop based on the potential of these particular sectors. Not that we are undermining other areas, but we have to look at the competitive and comparative advantage. And for me, in the Ministry of Agriculture, I want to say that for the first time, we're able to develop policy document, which is a legal framework that will guide us, that will direct agriculture to move in a consistent way. All along, agriculture has been considered as a scalar quantity, but now we have what? We have a vector quantity. So if today I decide to step down as commissioner, if you bring in somebody that writes French, am I making sense? He will be guided by the policy document, and that will increase consistency and development of agriculture. So for us, we have mandate one to ensure that we make agriculture create opportunity for job for our teaming youth. Number two, to improve livelihood. Three, to improve the income of the farmer. And four, to generate internal revenue. Our focus is about 2023, we should be able to export nothing less than 2% of what we produce from Plateau State to outside the shore. Now, His Excellency, in his own wisdom and passion for agriculture, what he did was to quickly go to African Development Bank, and we had a special intervention from the African Development Bank in form of loan of about $11.2 million, which has actually been earmarked specifically on the prioritized crop, which is the potato, because almost about 80% of what we produce, 80 to 90% of the potato you see in Nigeria comes from Plateau State. So comparatively and competitively, potato is what we can monopolize. Monopolize in the sense that we take advantage of what we have so that we can create good market, increase the income of the farmers, and motivate people to go into farming from the small scale into the large or commercial farming. And so this particular project actually is called Potato Value Chain Support Program. And through that, we have three components. One, capacity building to teach our farmers good agricultural practice, and that we have taken advantage of the company. Number two, infrastructure. Infrastructure by building prototype storage facilities, community markets, and then we also have a processing farm. And in addition to the mega structure, which is called the tissue culture laboratory. Now, the tissue culture laboratory is to enable us to clean out our local variety, because we have a challenge of diseases like the potato blight. So we clean out and produce, we select the good ones that we know that are viable, so that we can give them devoid of diseases, or let me say that disease resistant and also high yielding. So this is what the tissue culture laboratory is doing, and we are very much hopeful that June His Excellency will commission the tissue culture laboratory and give opportunity to our farmers, because the major challenge of our farmers is getting the right seed. So by the time we get the right seed, we will be able to meet up with the national and international standards. So we'll start exporting. Number two, by the time we do that, also we encourage dry season farming, so we'll have an all year round farming activity. Now, by the time we do that too, we encourage processing companies. There are a lot of processing companies who are willing to come to Plateau State, but the problem is that how can we assure them of a stable supply? So by the time we do that, we will sure both rainy season and dry season, our farmers will go into massive production, and the factories that will come to start processing potato, then at least they will have the raw materials. Already, the governor has invited a lot of people the French embassy have come to Plateau State. We had the organized the first international potato value chain support program, the first of its kind. It has never happened in Nigeria, and we have made a declaration that Plateau State is the center of excellence of potato. So this is another action. So with this, and the third one is that His Excellency is also embarking on a journey to Dubai to have business, investment opportunities to discuss with the world, so that they can still come to Plateau State and take advantage of these potentials. All along, Plateau State has been known to be producing potato producing state, but it was only limited to 9 local government areas. But we embarked on adaptability trials. The implication out of the 17 local government areas, only 9 local governments that have near temperate weather were involved in potato production. But when we embark on research, adaptability trial, we used 3 different varieties of potato. Today, I can assure you that potato can be produced in tier 17 local government areas of Plateau State. So it's a credit to encourage people to go into production. It's not going to be limited to 9 local government alone, but in tier local government areas. So it's a very great development for us on the Plateau. Plateau State is blessed, is endowed with good weather, which is the near temperate weather, and that gives us the capacity to produce exotic crops. Crops that are produced in temperate weather are also produced in Plateau State. It's not just about the apple. We have the grapes are produced in Plateau State. We have the cucumbers, we have the broccolis, we have a lot of exotic fruits and vegetables that are produced in Plateau State. Because of the weather that God has given, the altitude and the weather is suitable for production of exotic fruits. And a lot of people have even gone into it. Horticultural, ornamental. When I say horticultural, I mean the fruits and the vegetables, and then we have also the ornamental, which is the flower, that a lot of people have started producing in large quantity. The governor have encouraged even the private sector to go into massive production by visiting them and encouraging them, even with facilities like inputs, incentivizing them. And I can tell you, if you go to Plateau State, you see a lot of flowers. And we are also collaborating also with the French embassy. They have taken some of our flowers to France to go and analyze and see how we can improve upon them. And I want to tell you too that the market is the industry is very, very good, because all the flowers that are being produced in Plateau State, let me tell you that they have not been able to meet the domestic demand, not to talk of even taking outside. In those good days, flowers were exported from here to outside the shore. Unfortunately, along the line, I think the inconsistency of government affected that particular industry. And you go to Kenya, they bought some of the flowers from Plateau State here. And so we say that this potential cannot be considering the number of youths who are idle. We want to encourage our youth, and that's why the governor has given a mandate that before the end of the year, we should be able to empower nothing less than 10,000 youths in agriculture. So we want to bring all our youths together and tell them these are the windows. We have prioritized this area. How many of you want to? If you're not going to flower, you should go into the fruits and vegetables. If you're not going to fruits and vegetables, go into piggery. If you're not going to piggery, go into livestock, the last one. If you're not going to that, go into rice production to wheat. And I also want to tell you that for the first time, Plateau State had the first brown revolution where wheat was produced both for the rainfed and the dry season. It was launched by the president last year. So, first Potato International Summit was held last year. First brown revolution where wheat was produced for the first time in rainy season in Nigeria was done in Jos. So, Plateau State, among other 2 states, have the capacity to produce, but we have more land and the suitability of the areas to produce wheat. And so the potentials are enormous. We cannot exhaust them. We will continue to encourage our small, because the majority of the farmers are smallholder farmers. No matter how small your farm is, adopt to good agricultural practice. Buy improved seed. Don't use the local seed. Number 2, we have our extension officers. His Excellency graciously also, employed about 400 ad hoc staff extension officers under the PADP. And he gave directive in the last ESCO meeting that they should be formalized. So this is another credit to His Excellency. And so we will tell our farmers that our extension officers have been increased, so they should avail themselves so that they will be taught the good agricultural practices so that they can have bumper harvest. And then thirdly, that where there are challenges, they should not hesitate to come to the Ministry of Agri so that we will identify the challenge, because the extension services is supposed to be a two-way traffic. We take innovation to them and then we also receive feedback. So we are very much ready. And then thirdly is to aggregate themselves into cluster group that we call cooperatives. It becomes much more easier to reach out to them and also to handhold them, because we have been able to do that to 4 commodity associations. And the mandate we have is to ensure that farmers aggregate themselves into cluster groups so that it can be easy for us to handhold you to a financial institution where you have some facilities. And also, whenever the governor or the government is trying to also assist the farmer through incentives, it will become easier for us to reach out to the farmers and then to adhere to the basic rules of farming.
Plateau the Beautiful. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more of our programs. I remain Hilda Homsem Fantuam.